This morning is his World Cup memorabilia from 2000.
First thing that you said when you walked in.
Okay, don't drop it. Don't drop it.
What the hell is this doing here? What's the comment?
It's borderline lack of respect, really. Kevin Sean bringing that in and just chucking it on the sideboard there.
Korea, Japan, 2002, as you can see here, possibly. And this is signed by the entire 2002 squad. Yeah,
well, most of us have got these. We were in the hotel and somebody came back with one of these footballs. A couple of the lads. Yeah, they got them around the corner and they were quite striking. Stands out a little bit. You know, generally just an old football. You get it signed. Yeah, it's kind of wooden or whatever. Just the look of it. So most of us went out, grabbed one and just kind of got them signed up. Just a bit of a keepsake. Bit spontaneous.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's the little squiggle. That's it. Yeah, but I haven't got a huge amount of memorabilia at home, but I've kept that ball. It's around the place somewhere. But yeah, I was a little bit.
You're not happy. You're not happy.
I was a little bit distressed. Well, it's a bit of a token gesture what you have here anyway. It's almost just thrown together. Well, look, it's not a lot of talk. Look, you got Keith Andrews' caricature here.
Well, he brought that in.
A bit of a laugh in his jaw. Yeah, but then you've got
what you're finding, Kenny, here is right that Kevin Kilbane brought us in one of his most treasured pieces of memorabilia.
Well, clearly not, or he wouldn't have brought it in the first place.
Well, that's how much he values his...
Oh, you with me on that?
I'm not sure about that,
That's how much he values his colleagues. Keith Andrews was not afraid to sort of have us take the piss out of him for looking like Sonia Sullivan with with his caricature here. He was fine with that. Andy Lee, I mean, another valued colleague, Kenny, you see a team coming here, brought us in one of his world title belts.
No, fair play, but it's just I don't think you've shown enough respect. Maybe I should rephrase it. I don't think you've shown enough respect.
I think you haven't shown enough respect. What memorabilia have you brought in?
He brought in tea cakes last week, and that is far better.
I haven't given any much memorabilia back in the house, to be honest.
What are you going to bring us in? Bring us in something. You must have something you can bring in.
Laundry. All my stuff's in a laundry bag somewhere in the attic. I will have to.
We'll happily accept some Kenny Cunningham memorabilia for the studio.
A lot of bad memories there mixed in with the good.
Really?
I'd rather not go there.
I can't quite decipher whether you're overly sentimental or under sentimental, and that's why we don't have anything from you.
Yeah, fair point. Maybe it's a conversation for another day.
What do you mean there's a lot of bad memories?
Oh, it's bittersweet, Adrian.
What do you mean?
Seems like you're hiding.
I don't want to go into the laundry bag. Let's just leave it at that.
Really?
I don't want to delve in there.
Is it not all good? All good?
No, it's definitely not all good. No.
What's the worst thing in there?
What are you talking about?
Well, no. Well, like most professional players, I think. Well, most players think their careers are littered with more disappointment than success.
Regret or disappointment?
Oh yeah, big regret, and disappointment kind of coexist. I think hand in hand. So yeah, not conversations I generally like to have. Gets me in.
I'm surprised. I have to say, I thought that at a remove from your career, because I mean, there's obviously at some point after that, regardless of what's happened in your career, you can rationalise what went on, and the level of success you've had, Kenny, is the level of success.
You're doing exactly what I asked you not to do, aren't you?
That very few people get. You know what I mean? Like, you're the guy that...
Depends how you qualify success, really, Adrian. So, no, I suppose the answer to that is no. You box it off as best you can. You move on. That's it. Career's over. But no, I must admit, it's difficult. The early experience as well, in particular, was wonderful. It's biggest career highlights, of course, it was. Some magical memories, but bittersweet as well. Some of the biggest disappointments.
In terms of
big dollars of regret.
Personal or team?
Both. Personal first and foremost. You look to yourself, undoubtedly. And although my memory's not great, some of the most vivid memories of times in an Ireland jersey when, just not up to scratch really. Just moments you could have relived, situations, decision making, mistakes you've made, cost the team, things you could have done better. Yeah, so that's it. That's life.
There are specific things that stand out for you.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Yeah, I'll never forget them.
Yeah, it seems like the quotes on the back pages this morning from Seamus Coleman would almost resonate with you, because I was actually going to ask that later on about the idea that he was saying that it's going to be a lot more painful watching Denmark play in the World Cup now. It's going to bring all those memories flooding back a little bit. Like, did you experience that sort of like almost borderline flashback element when, I don't know, in the lead up to big tournaments? I'm not sure what memories you're referring to here, but presumably a lot of them would have the unintended consequence of, I guess, not appearing in a major tournament like after in certain times.
Yeah, you're right in Ireland jersey. Yeah, because we came perilously close. No, the lads fell at the final hurdle against Denmark, but we were well beaten over the two legs. And when we went perilously close to qualification a number of times before we qualified for Japan, and people talk about fine margins. I know it's a cliche, but they really were fine margins. Now, over the course of the qualifying campaign, you look back and you look at maybe, games we lost, we drew, key moments in the game, and you look to yourself, me, from a personal point of view, I always looked at situations, could I have defended better, could I have made more of an impact? And the answer is clearly yes, I could have done better on various occasions. There was huge impacts to those decisions, those small mistakes. So
it seems strange then that you'd actually keep these items, even if it's in a laundry bag in the corner of the room, that you would even...
No, we're talking items. I'm not talking about a few jerseys. I was never one for lads that asked for a jersey. I'd always swap a jersey, and so I'd come home and I'd wash the jersey, I'd put it to the side. So they're stacked in a laundry bag somewhere in the attic, and there's a few bits. I have that ball there. I mean, with the World Cup 2002 was fantastic. That was more relief, more so than anything else. And the lads had a good World Cup. I didn't play a lot. I only played a couple of minutes in the World Cup of 2002. It was great to be a part of it, and it was reasonably successful. The lads done great. So there is good memories there.
Is that one of your regrets that
No, the regret is we didn't qualify for any more. Yeah, 2098. Yeah, like I said.
And are you it sounds like you're holding yourself almost personally responsible for the...
Oh, no, well, yeah, you look to yourself. Yeah, you look to yourself first. Yeah, could I have done anything better? And you do. Key moments. I was reasonably experienced around that time. You look at key moments, and yeah, without a doubt, I'm not going to go into the individual games and the individual moments within games, but some of the most desperate moments on a football pitch have been in Ireland jersey. Right. Almost inconsolable. I remember in the end it didn't prove to be too costly. I remember a game, I'll just say, 1 over in Croatia. We played a game away to Croatia. I can't remember when it was, but we lost the game 1-0 in the last couple of minutes. Davil Suker scored, and it was my fault. It was a big kick up the pitch. I got too close to him. He rolled me and put it in the back of the net, and they won 1-0. We played okay, good defensive display, probably earned the draw, but ultimately my mistake cost us the game. I remember being in the dressing room after the game. I was literally just livid with myself. I just couldn't engage with people, couldn't communicate. We were flying to Malta the following day. I just literally couldn't make eye contact with people. I'll tell you how bad it was. I actually got out. I had Ulysses with me from James Joyce, wow. which I'd bought sometime before and I hadn't started. And I was literally heading that book for about 2 or 3 days. And I found it very difficult to snap out, even before the Malta game. I actually took it in. Those bad feelings and that kind of negativity, and kind of so angry with myself. I actually couldn't shake it before the Malta game, which we won 3-2. Stan got a brilliant free kick, and I didn't play particularly well in that game either. I remember at the game thinking I was angry with myself, the fact that I couldn't box it off and kind of move on in such a quick space of time. But I was fuming with myself. Just couldn't get out of my system.
Was that a feature of your career, or was that because of the magnitude of the game and the fact that...
No, I think the Ireland games in particular, because it meant so much more for a lot of different reasons. We all know Ireland, country, family, the whole thing. It meant so much to so many people, and because the spirit was so good, it meant so much to us collective as a group. We were so tight. Any kind of individual kind of mistake, personally anyway, which I felt our performances weren't at the level that they should have been. Yeah, I found that tough. Particularly, I say the last qualifying campaign for Ireland under Brian, I almost felt as if I kind of let Brian down a little bit. My performances weren't good enough the last qualifying campaign, not the level that they should have been. My legs were going a little bit, to be honest. It wasn't a case of a lack of application or anything like that. Just physically mobility, just couldn't get around the pitch and influence the game.
And were you aware of that at the time? Was that? Were you
I was a little bit. And you try and modify a game. I should have, in all honesty, I should have retorted the campaign before. I seriously thought about it.
Really?
Had a conversation. Yeah, I nearly jumped, but didn't. Spoke to Brian and decided, no, I'll carry on, and maybe
he obviously, if the fact that he's playing, he's obviously saying to you, here, listen, give it another bash, I need you.
Yeah, he was keen for me to carry on. It's not something which is easy to walk away from the Ireland scene. It means so much, you know what I mean? Like I said, I was so fortunate. It's not easy to step away from. I understand, lads, you kind of people say, they're hanging on, but I can understand it, particularly in the ordnance set, but it means so much. But on reflection, I should have made the decision to walk a campaign before. We had good options there. Dunny was around there playing well. We had another couple of options in. Yeah, it was the wrong decision to hang around for another qualifying campaign because my performances weren't good enough. But yeah, by and by, as they say.
Yeah. Take this in the way it's meant, like the fact that your career is littered with leadership roles and captaincy roles. I would have thought, because I mean, you were saying 98, you were maybe 4 or 5 years on the Irish scene at that stage. That Croatia
I can't remember. No, 96 I came
99
in.
actually was the Croatia game.
Yeah, that's right. We missed that. Well, it was the Macedonia, wasn't? We should have again. I don't know. That's when we'd qualified, hadn't we? And we conceded in injury time in Macedonia. They drew the game, and that threw us into the playoff game against Turkey, which we lost on the away goals. Drew 1-0 at home and lost. So that's how close was. But the Macedonia game, we were there. We'd actually qualified in injury time. You know, the game was over. They forced the corner kick. Don't know if you remember. They scored directly from the corner, and that was it. We were there, and then we went. So all of those things as well. The Belgium game, playoff, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I mean it's still there, like, you know. So I generally, it's why I'll never write a book, because I couldn't go there and keep.
Really?
Yeah, no chance.
Just it hurts too much almost.
Yeah, not hurts in terms of like breaking down in tears, but just get angry, getting bad form, like, you know what I mean, and just don't like talking about it too much, and certainly couldn't sit down and go through in any detail and put it in print. No.
Was there anybody you could talk to at the time? Like, that's what I was getting at with the leadership thing, that you would have been, I'm sure people would have been looking at you as one of the leaders of the team at that stage too. Was there anyone you felt you could chat to about that? Like, it can be a pretty lonely place, I'm assuming.
No, that part of the game, I know it's kind of at the moment, it's kind of in the news a little bit, players with the mental side of the game, and kind of a lot of, even Danny Rose on the paper there this morning talking about he suffered with depression of football and stuff like that. But no, that wasn't an issue at the time. Like, you know, I wouldn't have burdened anybody with that type of stuff. Like, you just kind of deal with yourself and get on. And yeah, whether it's a captain's role or a leadership role, a senior player, you try and be as positive an influence around the place. Look, I wasn't walking around the place with a big chin on the floor.
Well, you were reading Ulysses.
No, that was probably. Jesus, I didn't finish it. I've got to be honest with you.
Nobody has, Kenny, I understand.
No, yeah. No, generally speaking, yeah, you push those things to the side. You be as positive as you can. The team dynamic is so important within the squad. I was always very much aware of that. But yeah, in your quiet moments and stuff, yeah, those kind of thoughts kind of creep in. But yeah, I've tried to box them off as best I can the last kind of 12 years and just kind of stay away from them. That bloody ball coming in.
Laundry bag.
That ball. That's where it started it all off.
And it's just the we're not going to sort of dwell on it any longer. I can tell that there's a pain involved in it, but it, like, the capacity normally to rationalise these things after you retire, and particularly after a bit of a remove after you retire, that normally players will say, oh yeah, well look, things could have been a bit better, but ultimately I'm sort of delighted with my lot. But it certainly seems
that's what you should do, really. And I suppose I've tried to do that as best I can, because nobody likes to hear he's such a man, he had a good career, what's he all? Yeah, so I can understand that a little bit. So, you know, I wouldn't put it out there too much, but something I can't get away from. It kind of happened. It's probably why I'm a little bit, in terms of me coaching, a bit of coaching that I've done, I'd be very kind of analytical, be very detailed in terms of what I do.
I would have thought it was a huge help, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, just for that reason, because over the course of my career, I came to realise the importance of just a small amount of detail makes a huge amount of difference. Even on the biggest stage of all, qualifying, World Cup, whatever it is, the small minutiae that you talk about on the training pitch, even at a lower level, still kind of matters even at the very highest level, and matters to a huge extent. So yeah, that kind of, I suppose, in the back of me, almost a subconscious thing, that kind of drives me a little bit in terms of a bit of coaching that I do, that I'd be a little bit in terms of attention to detail, probably a little bit, maybe too much, but I can't get away for those reasons. That's what kind of drives it a little bit. I need to have things done, I need to be organised. I need to have the players organised. My responsibility to do that, because otherwise, I know from a personal point of view what the kind of ramifications are.
I don't know. I would have thought writing a book would have been a helpful experience
No,
in that case.
no, no.
Not for you.
Cathartic almost.
No, no. Well, not if like verbally having these conversations, that to go by. Because
As in talking about it now, it's not helping. No.
No, not really. No, I've got to be honest
Sorry
with
about
you.
that.
The ball. Kevin Kilban. It's Kevin Kilban's fault.
We blame the ball. Everything. It all comes back to Kevin Kilban, Kenny. That's the short story.
yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of publishers that are watching this morning that are thinking, let's get Kenny's number and give him a shout and see if we can get something going here.